In a world where only one company rules, where workers work, where one company beats the workers up or down, where people die, the one from the internet. Viewer discretion is advised. The DeLorean was manufactured in the 80s. With doors and panels, the DeLorean was known as a car. These cars are in rough shape, but a restoration can make a DeLorean look like a Restorian. If you can afford one of these, you're living the dream. You can go eat a giant sandwich. This DeLorean is a rare relic from the 1980s. It's beyond repair. This DeLorean is a rare relic from the 1180s. Rusty examines the car on the floor. He finds the old DeLorean. It's beyond repair. This DeLorean is a rare relic from the 9080s. Under the hood, Rusty the mechanic removes the parts from the area in order to access the bits. Then he unbolts the junk that splits the unit to the part to drain some of the Kool-Aid. Rusty the old technician will need replacement. The new technician bolts the hubs to the hub. But the question remains, will it car?
Theorists say yes.
Mechanics confirm that this 9080s throwback is beyond repair. The ice machine technology took a few years in the mid-19th century to refine.
Hey, your job is done. Move along. It's my turn now.
Fine. Chill.
Today's ice makers make ice. This machine flattens the tubing, giving it greater to facilitate ice cream transfer. Each greater fan eventually joins ice cream meters anonymous. Liquid refrigerant will evaporate as part of the evaporator. He then places the evaporator daughter side down over a roller, which removes the girl from the metal. You can remove the girl from the metal. However, you can't remove the metal from the girl. They have been solidly fused. This copper is central to that process. Agent Bond will act as a bonding agent. He then punches the copper. Then it's into a cell. James Bond is cool at all times. However, moral impurities like cops can't just be punched away. These are the lines that supply power to the system. Hee-hoy, hee-hoy, hee-hoy. Finally, it's time for a little liquid refreshment. Turpentine. On ice, of course. Nice, of course.
When you want the perfect chandelier, there's no shortage of chandeliers in lighting shops or online. But when there's no lighting fixtures in shops or online, you have to go to a lighting manufacturer. But when there's no lighting manufacturer, you have to have someone to work for you. But when there's no one that does custom work for you, you have to go to work. But when there's no work, there's no room for you or your stupid chandelier. This chandelier has hands. It also has a posterior. It also has air lobes. Constructed out of cold rolled steel. Steel who's rolled enough to be bent, cold enough to be cool. These allow the globe to be virtually adjustable. These are tack welded in place.
Everybody has a tactical welder. But that's what I call...
The lighthouse is laser cut and welded from sheep. Also adhered. Also adhered lobes. Also paint thinner and boiled linseed oil to make it runny and slimy. You want this hole? Then after ensuring that they're straight, the shade is compared to a design sample using a clock. That's top. The globes are crafted by a lead spectacular. I like it. No shade, I promise.
The first yachts were dirty vessels used to take wealthy people on voyages of inconvenience. Today's yachts are floating. Modern yachts are the ultimate way to exploit workers out of their wages. If you can afford one of these, you're living a lie. You can go eat a glass sandwich. The team sprays glossy paint, giving it a glossy finish. The team sprays MP3 paint, giving it a glossy finish. The team sprays also paint, giving it a saucy finish. The technician calls their aesthetic seafoam core. Cool place. Sweet bathroom. Screw the toilet though. locker in the guest room. It sans
Wow, look at this! It's a cartoon skeleton, Jimmy.
high sheen. The crew cuts out holes for the crew cuts. A craftsman strips in the yacht's deck, so there will be no need to wonder if the craftsman has buff body parts. He doesn't. He confirms that everything is shape. The crew does a lot of slacking off. They treat their job like recess. All this slacking leads to one place, home.
A locomotive is the powerful rat named Charles under trainment cheese. Sometimes there's a second one as well. Train locomotives are small and insignificant. Wow, train locomotives are significantly larger than I'd have thought. The larger gray locomotives are passenger trains designed primarily for speed. Those smaller yellow ones to the right are passenger trains designed primarily for speed. For the European market, welders progressively build up a tube-stay weld, the real tube-stay weld. No, the really real tube-stay weld. Then they assemble the locomotives. Each one generates giant onions. They flip the onions so that the workers cry. The workers require emotional bonding because they can bawl aggressively, rendering the underframe strong enough to pull 444 metric tons into a cylinder called a stator. Then they lower another stator. The gear engages with the motors, so when the locomotive runs, that gear turns, which then rotates the onions, which turns the stator alternator, which then rotates the really real tube-stay weld, which finally turns the mammoth.
Concrete walls are made in a plant environment. Weather can't interfere with plants. Psych. Weather is a part of the environment. You can't control the weather, so you can't control plants. If you can afford one of these, you're living dream. You can go eat a concrete sandwich. Production starts with a mix of rock and stone and sand and limestone and sandstone and limestone. This collection is based. The team inserts a sheet of paper. Rah, 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 rah. Then they bend a bar into a loop.
It's a loop!
The loops are linked, creating long. They whip the thick, gritty mix. They're now ready to pour gritty because gritty's pretty thick. Hue.
God bless you.
A worker pulls the foam insulation using greed. Nothing can prepare them for what's next. I feed them silica gel. After about 12 hours, the team is dry enough to be crushed. The team beaters dispense concrete directly onto the crew. The amount of force it takes to crush them is a measure of my strength. A truck dispenses the mix. Attention. Wow, it's made was an inside job.
The sauna is an essential part of life that was once considered. Most infants have one, even many centuries-old infants, and the sauna is still an important part of infant life. But wherever you sweat, there's no need to have one, because the sauna isn't even an important part of everyday life. This outdoor sauna is made of rotten mold. The wood is first measured with a woodometer. Once it's confirmed that the wood is wood, a circular template is laid on top and clamped into position. 3 balls are now strapped around the sides of the barrel. A cover is mounted, which allows you to control the amount of outsiders entering the sauna. After all, a sauna is no place for things to get heated. Next, an electric stove is fitted, which will be filled with burgers. After all, a sauna is the perfect place for things to get heated. Sit back, relax, and put some burgers into your gaping mouth holes. Then, a minute glass that counts down 1 minute to let you know how long you've been Canadian. The sauna's back is constructed using this unique technique, plank tongue, that has a tongue on both sides. Tight. Plank, 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 plank. So now, you're really plank. Plank means cool, I promise.
Welcome. Okay, got some new microphone settings. I hope they sound better. Let me see.
I hope they sound better. A little bit. Oh. Okay. You know, before we get into this weird mystery that I've just discovered that involves the backwards talking guy that we watch sometimes, let's check Matthew. Oh, I don't think he has anything new. He keeps uploading things in the middle of the night and then deleting them. So, let's see. Let's find the backwards talking guy so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Oh, that's 21 minutes. Does this one have blood in it? Please listen. I'm trying so hard to help you all. Do you not see the light of truth? Die. You are blind.
Wake up, mother's babies. Wake up, mother's babies. Wake up, mother's babies. See babe's rhythm? Fuck you. See babe's rhythm? Fuck you. See babe's rhythm? Fuck you. Please forget my filthy salt. Please forget my filthy salt. Please forget my filthy salt. Lossie'd live, fam, bag of seal. Lossie'd live, fam, bag of seal. Lossie'd live, fam, bag of seal. Mother ropes here fast. Mother ropes here fast. Mother ropes here fast. Soft face will rhythm. Soft face will rhythm. Soft face will rhythm. Pull out of the wine, better than 40-foot Felsen. Pull out of the wine, better than 40-foot Felsen. Pull out of the wine, better than 40-foot Felsen. In this life they'll feed off internet now with a dollop. In this life they'll feed off internet now with a dollop. In this life they'll feed off internet now with a dollop. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Here I come, destined out, no one just got all bit. Here I come, destined out, no one just got all bit. Here I come, destined out, no one just got all bit. Layer below, I just know it, blood in, said Mark, hurry. Layer below, I just know it, blood in, said Mark, hurry. Layer below,
we will learn who this Mark guy that he's talking about is.
I just know it, blood in, said Mark, hurry. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, it gets way weirder. I'm surprised this is the only guy I stumbled on that was doing this.
Sit light up, truth, here, Hunamatrix.
It's real creepy.
Sit the light up, truth, here, Hunamatrix. Scares them in a hurry, thirst, but yell at this. Scares them in a hurry, thirst, but yell at this. Scares them in a hurry, thirst, but yell at this.
Oh, you're not ready.
Eek up, eek up, eek up. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Nightmare. I don't want to die here. Nightmare. I don't want to die here. Nightmare. I don't want to die here. Hurry, God, I don't want to. Hurry, I'm done. Hurry, God, I don't want to. Hurry, I'm done. Hurry, God, I don't want to. Hurry, I'm done. Wake up. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Wake up. Fuck you. Crumbs together, white under the 40-foot Felsen. Crumbs together, white under the 40-foot Felsen. Crumbs together, white under the 40-foot Felsen. In this life they'll feed off internet now, her leg is Mark. In this life they'll feed off internet now, her leg is Mark. In this life they'll feed off internet now, her leg is Mark. Wake up! Fuck you!
Okay, so I thought this guy was just some one-off weirdo, but he is not. Let's look up this video called YouTube's Blood Cult. By the way, the videos, he has a bunch of videos of him writing messages and then smearing blood all over it. I usually don't show those because I think they're TOS, but this is a cult. This is like, that was a cult ceremony, and there are, I would say, thousands of people on YouTube that do the exact same thing he's doing. It is really creepy, and let's find out about it.
YouTube. It feels like whenever things are calming down, YouTube is there to cause some trouble once again. From canceling 2020's Rewind to putting ads on everyone's content, even if you aren't.
Oh, don't worry about this one. I don't think they censor all the blood in this one. So, well, actually, I think so. I watched a different one. Actually, it doesn't look like they do. Well, I will have something I can put over the screen when there's blood, but you know what? I don't think anybody's gonna report me. We'll do it. Anyway, content warning. There's probably going to be images of at least just like the blood on the paper. I think that might be okay. It's just red paint. But if you have a problem with blood, I would probably switch to something else for the next 30 minutes. So fair warning right there. It's allowed on YouTube, and this is a pretty big channel, so I think we might be okay. I think they might censor most of it, but let's go.
Partner, I can say that this site is never stale. However, beneath the site's surface, an online cult has laid its foundation on this site for the past several years, and they've been growing at an alarming rate. Today, we're going down the strange rabbit hole that is blood over intent.
Let's see if I can get away with upping the quality here. Oh, it's 240p? Let's go 360. Bit rate's doing good. Let's try it again. Let's go 480. Yes.
On the 23rd of February,
Boy, we'll create the
2020,
whole.
a user posted on r/Internet Mysteries about a cult taking place on YouTube. The user, Grog2002, states that he encountered two channels that created very weird videos and would frequently use the word blood in the comments. At first, Grog2002 guessed that it's either a bunch of edgelords that haven't grown out of the Hell Satan phase, or even a cult. As it later turned out, this was very much the latter. Edit. Apparently, it is a cult, a new age one at that, and they do these so-called blood over intent videos. We need to dive deeper into this rabbit hole. After some investigation, a surprisingly large list of channels believed to be a part of this cult was compiled. Just a heads up. From this point forward, I will be playing some of their videos, which involve people spilling drops of their own blood. To some, it may be disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised. With that out of the way, let's take a look.
It's just paint. It's just paint. Don't worry. Some of there are literal like videos on TikTok and stuff of literal fucking children doing this with their parents recording. This is terrifying.
I intend to bring forth heaven on earth for the benefit of all, and release us all from bondage.
It's just paint. This lady's finger is filled with paint. That's just paint. Just paint.
All of these videos showcase a person smearing their blood onto a piece of paper with a prepared statement. The text slightly varies from person to person.
Oh, yeah, it's informational, so I would I think I can get away with no. Well, you know, well, it's fun.
But they typically
that warning is mostly just for me, so I don't have to explain that I don't agree with the things. Green cube, thank you both day.
Green cube, overtime 4T2 beanbi.
Green cube.
say something along the lines of, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth and release everyone from bondage. And as previously stated, the comments are full of people saying blood thick or blood family or something similar.
There's the guy. There's the guy. That's the guy we found right here. Zeus Bills 13U13.
And you might be thinking that this is a niche, small little cult. But what's weird is that if you search blood over intent on YouTube and sort by upload date, you'll see that there are videos being uploaded by the hour of people participating in this ritual.
You gotta summon Heaven on Earth, and we gotta live in the big cube. It is kind of similar to the Mafia Initiative.
A divine intent on a piece of paper in a car.
Yeah, here we go. The one with the kid.
And yeah,
what
he's
the
using
fuck,
her
man?
spiritual currency to bring forth heaven on earth.
So, what is blood over intent? What's their purpose?
It's like QAnon freaks out about the dumbest shit ever, but I've never heard any Q person like bring this up. Oh yeah, we're about to go down a deep rabbit hole tonight. This is this weird shit. This is a blood cult that's on YouTube.
Purpose. Well, after scouring through tons of videos, Reddit threads, and one Gizmodo article, I think I can try to make sense of it all. Essentially, these people have taken the ancient idea of blood magic and adapted it for the modern era. Supposedly, blood is a very powerful and personal tool used in occultism.
Satanist
That's
cult.
what's going on here. However, practitioners of blood over intent are a bit different. As the Gizmodo article puts it, in a nutshell, those who practice the ritual believe they develop spiritual powers and changes in perception that grow over time, as they shake off the false reality in which we are all supposedly imprisoned. It is a proof of life in the community's parlance.
There are I think the cult leader was trying to make it a TikTok trend at one point, so I think some people don't know what it is and what they're doing or something, but there are like lots of like really obsessed followers of this thing. It is creepy.
Letting the powers that be know you're there and allowing you to enter their graces.
Oh yeah. Let me put a notice up here. Let's see. Let's see. Copy. Paste. Properties. Properties. That's
Spilling blood, a practice rooted in the ancient occult, is no more important than the witnessing, which takes place online on YouTube for the eyes of fellow practitioners and in front of anyone who happens to click. So yeah, these people think that they see the world for what it truly is, that they're free of the reality.
This will be a very uncomfortable video if you don't like blood. I mean, it's mostly just little pinpricks and them putting on the paper, but again, I would advise anybody that has issues with blood for the next, 30 or so minutes. If it's too much, just come back in, 40 or so minutes. Because I'll be being a pausing Andy through this whole thing. So, anyway. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blood.
The rest of us are supposedly trapped in. This is actually a pretty common belief for people who are neck deep into conspiracy theories. And I like a good theory here and there, but these guys have gone off the deep end. How do I know?
Yeah, I don't think they show any flow or anything, it's just mostly on the paper.
I stayed with Blood Over Intent because I see, I asked all these questions.
So you know.
For the most part, beginning with the
Witness!
And the evidence that I came up with, there's no evidence of the ball earth. There's evidence of a flat earth. I mean, you could make up the evidence of a ball earth. Yes, you can make that up and make it seem like that. But if you go out here and you are observing and knowing what's going on, you can just know that the earth isn't a ball. And so then that leads you down that path of those questions.
I gotta boost the volume a tiny little bit. Let's go to 150.
And it led me to Blood Over Intent.
Believers of reptilian shapeshifters, and apparently worshippers of Satan. But we'll get to that later on.
Satan is a good guy. Gave up gallons of blood to bring forth heaven on earth for the benefit of all people. And I'm blood thick with Satan. I recommend you look into this topic, Blood Over Intent.
Somehow these people have gone together to form this cult, and it's been growing for the past few years. But Blood Over Intent takes it one step further. Some members feel as though it is their duty to use blood magic to free the rest of us. So they write their intent and sign it with their blood. And once your video is uploaded, it serves as an initiation to the cult, as proof that you are enlightened enough to reach Blood Over Intent, which explains all the comments seemingly congratulating the uploader. And yeah, uploading a video is a part of the ritual. Recording yourself dropping blood onto your divine message isn't enough. You must also post it to YouTube. Okay, so that's one part of the ritual, but what about the reverse audio?
I think that's the guy right here.
Nowhere in the articles, Reddit threads, or even videos attempting to explain this cult does it ever explain why they do this.
That's another thing. J-Dreamers accidentally fell into this for a small amount of time, and then he was he made this video, and then he found out what the cult was actually about, and he's like, do not do Blood Over Intent, man, it's Satan. Jay, you're such a dummy. And then he's got the cube. Vibes.
They just do, and it's kind of weird. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and ask one of the members of this cult. Thankfully, she was very open and answered my questions relatively quickly. According to her, reverse speech is a way of revealing what is occurring in human speech in the unconscious mind. David Oates is known for his work in reverse speech, and shows how by recording and reversing speech reveals the truth. The truth is in reverse. This is partially true. David Oates is a real person who is the founder of reverse speech. Supposedly, the idea is that by reversing someone's audio, you can find hidden messages to decipher what they're really saying. However, this is obviously far from the truth, and notes his pseudoscience is rejected by the scientific community. It's pretty easy to make words out of someone's reverse gibberish and loosely make it relevant. But for some reason, members of Blood Over Intent have latched onto Oates' claims and use it in their videos. Since this Reddit thread has gained attention, online detectives were able to uncover common themes within this cult. Let's go through them, one at a time. Different variations of the number 144 or 144,000 are seen in many videos by members of Blood Over Intent.
I love you, my brothers, my sisters. Blood Over Intent's where it's at. Check it out.
It's the most random mix of people that get into this. Like they seem like completely normal people. Like I would expect like some like hardcore goth person who wears like fucking death metal makeup all the time to do this, but they're just like regular people almost.
YouTube search Blood Over Intent. Spill your blood beside ours and become part of the 144,000 that is going to leave this matrix.
As it turns out, 144,000 has quite a bit of significance in religions, so much so that it has its own convenient Wikipedia.
No, I mean like goths are cool. I'm just saying like you don't expect a soccer mom to do like blood magic. I mean like from like they're like people that you would see at Walmart or something. But like, I didn't mean that in a classist way. I meant just like people you would see out in public just minding their own business. But they're like, I'm gonna go home and do some blood magic.
Wikipedia page, for example.
I mean, if before they open their mouths, they seem normal. But
well, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that exactly 144,000 Christians will be chosen to live in heaven for eternity. And New Age movements like the Unification Church or the Church of the Subgenius also utilize this number. In terms of Blood Over Intent, it's more or less the same. In the Gizmodo article, cult member Mark Braun states that by posting a video of yourself performing the ritual, you open yourself up to the Book of Life, in which only 144,000 names are written. Post blood and join his 144,000, he said, or be dead walking, asleep, doomed to a hellish cycle of pointless suffering. Blood up or shut up, said Braun. I asked why 144,000 in the comments of one of their videos, and got this response. There are 144,000 names in the Book of Life. You need to show your creator proof of life to place your name in the Book of Life. Blood Over Intent is proof of life. This kind of belief is very common within cults. The members are disillusioned to think that performing this specific action is the only way to achieve some sort of greater goal. However, their actions are nonsensical. Like, I really doubt any magical book or deity cares about whether or not a video is uploaded to YouTube. It's very reminiscent of Heaven's Gate, except instead of mass suicide, it's smearing blood onto a piece of paper, uploading it, and then escaping our fake world.
Yeah, there's been at least one murder tied to this too.
For whatever reason, a ton of these Blood Over Intent videos seem to reference a woman named Mary Barnes. Some videos even praise her, as if she's a god that the cult worships. Googling her name doesn't do much help. However, there is a channel involved in the cult called Mary Barnes Makovich.
We intend to bring forth heaven on earth for the benefit of all. We intend to release all from the bondage of time and money, safe passage into the Garden of Eden, and forgiveness for our filthy souls. For Mr. Satan, and the 144,000 Hellblazers. You know what? We're grateful for you.
She seems to upload daily about Blood Over Intent, her paintings, her ramblings, and so on. I can only assume she's an older, more well-known member of the group, although she's only been posting videos since 2018. However, considering her growing catalog of over 1,000 videos, I imagine most members know her. The real star of the show is our next person of interest, Quasi-Luminous.
Mark.
In some of the videos I've watched, one name seems to be mentioned every now and then. The so-called leader or founder of Blood Over Intent, a man named Mark Braun.
He looks like Mark Dice, honestly. Let's see. Let's compare him to Mark Dice. Hot news. Like, slightly looks like Mark Dice. A little bit. They were made in the same factory, at least. He's so cool, man. This doesn't even look like a real gun. Yeah, I think that's a fake gun. It's like a rubber prop gun. It looks like the same texture as my fake knife. That's definitely a prop gun. What a douche. I hate Mark Dice so much.
Also known as Quasi-Luminous. However, he believes himself to be literally Satan.
I can see where the Holy Grail is, and what I've done is I've proclaimed outwardly to the world that this fucking world is mine, that I'm Satan, the Antichrist, the Prince of Darkness himself.
Oh, I'll give you an idea how widespread this is. Let's see. These are all Blood Over Intent initiation videos here. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Blood Over Intent ritual. Warning, it's a trap! The power of your blood! Okay, let's quartz crystal. There's so many of them. What? Blood Over Intent non-compete. Like Daniel the Lion? That looks interesting. Oh my god, is that Daniel Always Wins? This is the creepy new age pickup. What is it? Is that him? Oh no, that's a kid there. That looks like a different dude, but the guy in... For a second I was about to shit. Okay, that's not him. It looked like him. I saw the guy in a creepy room with a hoodie on. I thought Daniel, but no.
And that I have the Holy Spirit. And I proclaimed outwardly to the world that this place is mine and nobody has to like it. So, what I've noticed is that when I spill my blood over my intent, I did it the one time that I published it to the Ethernet. And then...
The Ethernet?
You see, I started making videos where I could start seeing, and I started pointing out that Jesus is the Son and that I am the Antichrist himself. Now...
And what's even worse is that so do his followers.
I've made a discovery with the reverse speech. And like Satan says, he has many names. And he also goes by Quasi-Luminous. And he's back, which is awesome.
There's not much else I could find on Mark, other than a failed AMA on the occult subreddit, some 4chan threads, one of which mentions that they believed April 14th to be a spiritual event, and several online arrest records. This one from 2010 showed that Mark...
Petite theft, second degree, electric weapon or device concealed carry, possess of new legend drug without prescription? Open vehicular unsafe improper equipment, probation violation or community control / felony misdemeanor. Possession of meth. Oh yeah. Oh, I saw like every video. He's like he constantly can't stop moving like that. This dude is like, whew, he's on one. That is so weird. Like just this guy that smoked a little bit too much. That little crystal ended up creating like this weird satanic cult. It's so weird.
Was engaged with second-degree petty theft, carrying some type of concealed weapon, possession of drugs like meth, and others. Amazingly, his followers, or at least one, can be seen in the comments. And if you're curious about that Reddit post,
hail Satan.
It turns out that Mark got into an altercation with police and paramedics back in 2012. Unfortunately, the video of the event has been removed by YouTube, but a helpful comment from someone claiming to be involved explains the whole ordeal. It's very long, but it does tell us a bit more about this mysterious cult leader. Basically, Mark was already a regular in his Florida police community, known for being mentally ill, involved with drugs, and abusive to his then wife. During this incident, he called 911 and would only say, "Send an ambulance," claiming that he was attacked by his neighbor. Yet he was very uncooperative, had no signs of injury, and was clearly on drugs according to the officers. He was so erratic and hysterical that the officers ended up handcuffing him and loading him onto a stretcher. After being sent to the hospital, he underwent surgery on his chest or stomach, though the OP admits that he has no idea why this happened. Sometime after being released from the hospital, Mark started claiming that he was being stalked and threatened by the police. He then uploaded a video on his old YouTube channel called How to Kill Yourself, where he states that his wife and child fled the country because of this supposed police harassment, despite them already being separated for 1 to 2 years at that point. Someone sees the video, calls the police, and due to the suicide threat and previous knowledge of Mark owning a handgun, police subdue and take him to a mental health hospital. If it wasn't obvious by now, Mark isn't all there.
A horror that I found a long time ago when I was watching like creepy internet mystery videos yesterday. And I realized I stepped into a rabbit hole without realizing it.
And hasn't been for the past decade. Likely more so. I'm not sure if I should feel creeped out or just sad at this point. I have no idea how he started this cult.
Yeah,
but
see,
he clearly isn't somebody
still.
worth listening to and needs help rather than being on YouTube.
Devin Maggi! Oh my god! Oh, it's just, you got G Dreamers. Backwards talking guy goes in there without even, he's how I figured this out. Devin Maggi and G Dreamers have already been mentioned in this video. What the hell?
Now, there is one last person of interest I'd like to go over before closing things off. As stated earlier, Quasi-Luminous is the man behind this cult, and he has, for the most part, kept it online. But there was apparently one other leader of the cult who was...
I made a joke about Devin Maggi being a reformed cult leader. I was like how he was making a joke about how like he would have friends over and then like feed them like gruel. He's just trying to hold back his cult leader instincts. He's like, no, I'll make real food. You don't have to eat the gruel. I guess that's true. He actually was a cult leader before the second cult he's trying to start. What the fuck?
Second in command. A man going by the name of Devin Maggi, who runs a channel called Flat Earth Paradise. So why is he worth mentioning? In the post on the cults subreddit, a user known as Orb Switzer writes about how Devin is now starting a real-life cult. He states,
We watched a video the other day of Devin Maggi saying, I am not a cult leader. Why would you say I'm creating a cult? Why would I want to do that? Well, because you've done it before.
I've been following Blood Over Intent for years, and feel something significant just happened. If you don't know what that is, it's a subset of the Flat Earth community that got into a form of blood magic that, as of now, seems to have almost lost its steam, along with the larger FE community. They would write their divine intent to bring heaven on earth on paper, then cut themselves and post a video of themselves spreading their blood over it. As has been noted, it was apparently started by the truly psychotic Mark Braun, or Quasi-Luminous, now usually going by Saturn or Satan on YouTube, where he disappears and reappears frequently. But there have been other clear leaders among them. One is Devin Madge, now Flat Earth Paradise on YouTube. I could go on forever about this guy, but here's the gist. Unlike Quasi-Luminous, he comes off as intelligent and charismatic. For a long time, he posted about blood over intent and random new agey nonsense, but he made very high quality videos and before long, had tens of thousands of subs.
And he grew a nice beard and some beautiful hair.
Notable things he's done. Had a big falling out with Quasi-Luminous and basically became the movement's biggest voice. Planned, raised money for, and ultimately abandoned the SEAL project, in which he aimed to travel to the North Pole to prove there's a giant hole there leading to the Garden of Eden. Largely abandoned blood over intent topics, becoming more focused on bizarre new age crap. Traveled the country mooching off his supporters, including a weeks-long road trip he called the Rite of Remembrance. Announced he's a reincarnation of Hermes/Thoth, messenger of the gods, and could manipulate matter at will. Made predictions about vague yet supposedly cataclysmic events. So it appears as though this Devin guy had quite the history.
That is him. That's Devin Elon Magic.
With blood over intent. But now he spun off and started his own thing, creating a sanctuary somewhere in Oregon, where all paranormal stuff happens. I'm not sure if this spin-off cult has anything to do with blood over intent, as the post stated he became disassociated with them. For now though, it would seem as though we might be witnessing the rise of a cult right before our eyes.
Oh yeah, we've watched that guy a bunch of times on stream before.
If this was a small underground group on YouTube doing weird things, I might have ignored it. After all, there's honestly a lot of weird stuff on the site. But the frequent amount of uploads from everyday normal people is genuinely concerning.
Oh,
and when you factor in that some of them involve their family,
so many kids doing
their
this.
children,
What?
It's a little unsettling.
Oh, that was a fucking child. That was even younger. Ah!
Their children? It's a little unsettling. From their nonsensical ramblings and beliefs, to their founder literally believing himself to be Satan, this is a blood cult that lives on YouTube. And frankly, I don't think it should. Thankfully, a lot of videos and channels have been deleted since this thread got popular. So, stay safe everyone, happy holidays, and good night.
So, there's a little primer on this weird ass shit. Okay, what was the next one? Oh, yeah, J Dreamers. Blood Over Intent by J Dreamers.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
This is now we'll raise the mood a little bit because J Dreamers is such a dipshit that he didn't realize he was joining a satanic cult, basically. And like, I think there was a bunch of people that were involved in the cult, like making like they were like writing out notes with J Dreamer's name on it and then smearing blood on it. Because I know there's at least one video like that. Somebody made a video for him, like blessing him with their blood. And then he got real creeped out by it and was like, oh shit, what am I into?
It's J Dreamers, and I wanted to share some things I've learned with you about blood, especially pertaining to blood over intent. It's something I've been really focused on lately. So, I tried to type into Google,
Most
why
people
is
don't
blood
know
so
that blood
powerful?
sacrifice.
I looked up Wiccan, witchcraft, magic, white magic, black magic.
Oh, it's actually
I
hot
can't get a
in
straight
here. I'm
answer.
sweating,
I can't
so I'm gonna
really
take it off.
get any answer. Somebody telling me and explaining why blood is so powerful when used in magic spells. So, I came up with some thoughts about it on my own. I'm going to share those with you right now.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, this is my little
I changed
pointy
my,
stick. It's my pointy stick. Alright, so why is blood powerful? First of all, we all know that blood has DNA. DNA that I drew. And this is...
You know what, let's fact check J Dreamers. Because I've been saying this, look, it's true. Let's see. Do red blood cells have DNA? Red blood cells, the primary component in transfusions, have no nucleus and no DNA. Okay.
Is the mechanical version of you and me.
Oh, what is happening? Fuck. Oh, I didn't switch tabs.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's JJ.
Typed something and it fucked everything up. Let's see.
Of you and me. This is the machine that makes us who we are. It makes us look like who we are. It provides blueprints for our bodies, right? Now, along with DNA, blood also has energy to it, right? It vibrates at various levels, all right? So, depending on what the spirit inside of the person vibrates at, the blood will resonate and match that frequency.
Well, actually, yeah, I think... wait, actually, I don't know. Like, since they're produced by your, like, bone marrow, I don't know if they, I don't think they divide or anything. Do, white blood cells have DNA? DNA is present in white blood cells of humans, but no red blood cells. Okay, they do have... Oh, I think they do have a nucleus, so I think they do have DNA.
Another thing, now here is something I found on Google. Blood is important because demons are attracted to it. Many websites all agreed on this one aspect. During blood rituals or blood magic, demons are attracted to the blood and to that ritual. So
he does know about the demon
why is this
shit.
important, I think? Well, first of all, it doesn't ever say angels are attracted to blood. You know, it's a blood magic, blood rituals to call the angels down to have them help you. No, it's always demons. It's pretty much always demons. So, what do the demons want with the blood? Why are they attracted to it? Well, I'll get to that in a second. Another thing that all these websites agreed on is that blood magic, blood contracts are permanent. Like, no going back at all. Not after, until you die. Basically, once you die, it annuls the contract. So, whatever contract you write in blood,
Like you got?
they all agree you better be 100% sure that that's what you want to do. So, lost blood is up for grabs. This is why I think demons are so attracted to lost blood, or blood shed in blood magic, in rituals.
Even better, like, their heaven on earth thing, they always abbreviate it to HOE, just big all caps, ho. We must create ho. You're scaring the ho.
First of all, once the blood inside of the body, we have ownership over it. It's attached to us and our spirit, you know.
I like how when he wrote blood intent, he has everything in all caps except for the I.
Interacts with the blood, it's connected to the blood, but once we lose that blood and the blood leaves, now the blood is lost, right? You know how they always say you're lost at sea? Well, now your blood is lost. It's not connected to you anymore, to your essence. So, because the blood is lost...
Like, with Jay being in a custody battle with his ex-wife, he probably should delete some of these videos, especially this one. Like, this is all you would need to lose custody, basically. You would horrify everyone.
Just like when you lose something in the water at sea, it's up for grabs. It becomes anybody's property. So these demons who don't have, like, bodies or, you know, stuff like that, they are immediately attracted to the energy in the blood.
He spelled permanent wrong.
They say that you have about 15 minutes, you know, before the energy starts to, you know, kind of wear off. So the demons, like, get there as fast as they can. They show up right away. So the demons want the energy.
At least I hope that joke is correct, because that is one of the very few words that I can never spell right.
Blood, but they also now have access to DNA that's in the blood, right? Now, I'm not 100% sure if demons have the ability to read DNA, but they may have the ability to use it to their benefit somehow. But they're definitely attracted to the energy in the blood. Now, the DNA and the energy in the blood are connected to the person who spilled the blood. Now, if a demon connects itself to that blood, now it's connecting itself to the energy of that person and the DNA of that person, which in
Can you do cheek swab over intent? You get more DNA that way.
my opinion helps it to much easier possess that person or to have influence over that person. That's my guess. So, here's another thing. This is kind of the tough part for some of you guys, but Yahweh, YHWH, the God of the Bible, who many of Quasi's followers associate with the cube, right? The cube God. Yahweh also very much loves the shedding of blood. This is why personally I don't...
Let's see. I don't think the Bible on blood sacrifice. I mean, technically Jesus was a blood sacrifice, but I think they say don't do it yourself. What does the Bible say about offering? Oh, this is a horrible website. It's impossible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away sins, so that's sort of related. Yeah, okay, I guess it's sort of like ambiguous on it. Being the whole Jesus thing. It's mostly about Jesus' blood, though.
I don't think my God is not Yahweh of the Bible. My God is, I see it much differently, but that's a whole nother video. I'll talk about that sometime. But Yahweh loves the shedding of blood, right? The first shedding of blood, Cain and Abel, right? Cain got pissed off because he offered up fruits and vegetables, and Abel went and did a blood sacrifice, and Yahweh loved the blood sacrifice. And Yahweh has demanded the blood sacrifice of countless, literally over millions, probably billions of animals / people throughout the course of the Bible at the very least, and probably up until today, I'm guessing. But Yahweh himself, whose Quasi's followers consider to be the God of this matrix, the cube God, also really loves blood. Now, last thing I'm going to say is, remember, whatever you contract out in blood is what, according to all the Google experts, is permanent, like forever until you die. So
the Google experts.
They say, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. Two things I want to mention. Lots of Quasi's followers want to go into the earth, not remain on the earth. So if you're intending to bring forth heaven on the earth, I'm guessing it's possible you might be staying on the earth. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying. You got to be careful with genies and magic and, you know, evil spirits and stuff like that, because they can be tricky with words, you know what I mean? The other thing is heaven on earth.
I don't know if he actually fell into it now. I think he probably at least considered it, I think. He seems to be like doing it like, yeah, I can't really tell what side he's on. He's like, well, Jesus likes it, but it's also demons. I really want to know if, Jay did it.
Earth in the Bible is in the book of Revelation when a giant cube floats down out of the sky and all the good people go live in it. They don't go live inside the center of the world at the North Pole. They live on Earth in a cube that comes down from the sky. So, I'll let some of that, I'll leave that up to your own imaginations. Please do leave me some comments. Please don't hate on me for talking about...
I really want to know what Gina's take on this is. I'm pretty sure she would at least have heard about this.
Own imaginations. Please do leave me some comments. Please don't hate on me for talking about the Bible. I'll do a video on that, I promise, sometime. But hopefully you guys have a little bit better understanding of why blood is so important in blood rituals and blood magic, especially when it comes to blood over intent. I'm Jay Dreamers. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Jay. Now let's see. Warning, don't do blood over intent.
It. And I think that's really... Okay. Looks like we're live. So, I hope you guys can hear me over my
Jay's
heater.
got 68K.
It is freezing cold at my place right now. Hence why I'm all bundled up. Hi, Darian. Oh, let me pause my 30 seconds ago, so. All right, so it seems like, on my end, it seems like I'm choppy. I just want to get it out of the way. Do I sound okay?
No, not really.
Choppy, or is it good?
I mean, I don't either, but...
Oh, I have to turn off some stuff here. What's up, Adam?
Adam!
I really enjoyed your last vid, man. All right, cool. Awesome. Well,
I like how he has a green screen behind him, but he's not using it. And you know Jay
these
loves
things
his
work
background.
best when you turn everything off.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool.
Same
All right, so
thought.
everything's good. Seems like we're ready to go.
You're just
Welcome
like me for real.
to the show. So this video is going to be about.
Oh, actually, yeah, he's on some like Google Hangout or something. That's why he's not using it. Okay, it makes sense.
I'm basically going to take a stance. Okay. Now, I've done so many videos on this concept of blood over intent, and a lot of people still don't seem to understand where I'm coming from or what my point is. So I'm going to try to wrap up a lot of it in like a Cliff's Notes version and let you know exactly where I stand on this. Not really an interview. I spoke with Quasi-Luminous in a Google Hangout in a chat, and
oh my god, can you imagine talking to the leader of the blood cult while he's like rocking back and forth and like waving his arms around and like, so anyway, I am Satan, I'm Satan, and as soon as you do the ritual, you are one of the 144,000 that will live in the cube of pleasure for all of eternity as living gods.
Some people appreciated the video, and it seems like a lot of people were confused. So I'm really going to set the record straight. I stand on exactly what I think, and there's going to be no room for any wishy-washy thoughts about, I wonder where Jay Dreamer stands on all this. But before I get into that, I think I'm going to talk about a couple of other things first. Well, one major thing first. I'm going to be talking about Antarctica. I was going to say this for the end of the video, but I want to give everyone like something interesting to think about, just to sort of get the cogwheels running, just to sort of warm us up. So, hello to everyone who's watching. Hello, Darian. Hello, Adam. You're both awesome people. So, Antarctica.
It's like, he's dumb as shit, but I get why people watch.
Antarctica. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because sort of related to the blood over intent movement, in that a lot of people are focusing on the North Pole, right? Going to the North Pole and escaping out of the North Pole and things of that nature, which interests me just as much as Antarctica interests me. Because why does Antarctica interest me? Well, on the flat Earth realm,
You know what I should do?
Flat Earth map, Antarctica is the barrier that goes around.
And I think a lot of flat earthers know this, and a lot of them understand this, and a lot of them talk about this. Sadly, I don't see people getting too critical as to why. Why is Antarctica a big deal? So I'm going to give you some thoughts real quick on why I think Antarctica is a huge deal.
Would you like to see what a...
Anyway, so I'm going to get right into it. Somebody sent me a link, and I don't know how valid the video is, but I looked up recent evacuation. Supposedly, somebody in the military has leaked out that they are evacuating all of Antarctica. Like all the civilians, all the people all the personnel who work there right now, supposedly, allegedly, are being evacuated out of Antarctica. They're being told to leave. So I did some quick Googling real quick just to see if I could find anything on it. And along with the video by an unknown person stating that Antarctica is being evacuated, and by all means, if you guys have any info on this, let me know. But along with that, I also saw that a few weeks ago, they really were evacuating Antarctica, at least parts of it, supposedly, allegedly, because of this 30-mile long ice crack, in the ice. And so they're scared that all the observers are going to either fall into the ice crack or float away. I don't really know. I don't understand that. I don't buy the theory. I don't buy the fact that they're telling us that Antarctica is slowly melting and it's breaking off and it's doing all this. I don't see it like that, especially because Antarctica to me goes around our particular flat earth pond or puddle or realm. But what's up to or the Mandela effect, another phenomenon, Texas fan and Leon. So Antarctica, right? Supposedly they're evacuating it, but even if they're not, there's a lot of really weird stuff attached to Antarctica. So come on, we need to ask the question, Antarctica so important of a place to the world ruling powers? And all we're taught in school is that, we're basically given this idea that Antarctica is really important because it's the last true wilderness and we need to keep it that way. And we don't want a bunch of littering and all over Antarctica. Like they're trying to keep Antarctica fresh, and natural. And then, of course, there's the big deal about people trying to say that global warming's melting Antarctica or whatever, which I don't buy either. What's up? That spells moon. Anyways, so yeah, even if Antarctica is not being evacuated, which at least in some way it was, according to the news that I looked up, there was, and I don't know if it's still in effect, but there was a 35-year ban placed on the oceans surrounding Antarctica, the Antarctic Ocean. The governments of
really want to
the
go
land
there,
where I live and the land where you live, they all decided that no one is allowed to go even in the waters around Antarctica. And I do that, and it's interesting because the waters, it could be the waters around Antarctica, depending on your perspective, or inside of Antarctica. So I'm really thinking the waters inside of Antarctica. So why in the world would all of our, which I don't even like to call them our governments, because they're not mine, for them. I don't know if you guys have seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but there's a part where the king's riding by and this peasant is like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Arthur. I'm your king." And he's like, "I didn't vote for you." Anyways, on a more serious note, and aside from my really lame jokes, why would they want to keep people out of the waters that are inside of the Antarctic ice wall. Why in the world, right? Well, maybe, just maybe, they realized, wow, a lot of people are into this flat earth concept, and they might just start trying to go to Antarctica, right? I mean, anywhere you go, you're going to run into Antarctica as long as you're going south. I think the obvious answer is that they want to keep people away, not because they're trying to, preserve it and get rid of the litter bugs, but because they don't want people to go and find out what's actually there. So that brings me to another note, right? The world leaders recently, even in the news, you guys can Google it, you can YouTube it, you can check it out. It's on the television. World leaders, one after another, have all been visiting Antarctica for some strange reason. Why go to Antarctica? I mean, you're a world leader. You're a politician. It's Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong, one of those guys, went to Antarctica. Why? Please tell me why in the world it's so important for you to make a trip down to the last wilderness that exists in the freezing cold, where there's absolutely nothing to see except snow or ice. Well, I think that there is a reason that they're going down there. There's something to be seen. There's something to be understood. There is something going on. They are participants in something that is being kept.
We gotta go quasi-luminous after this, but if you have a link, I'll open it.
There is a secret to Antarctica. I'm not the only person that knows this. Many other people know this. And Hitler knew that there was a secret to Antarctica. Now, think of Antarctica. If you think of Antarctica as a continent at the bottom of the world that everyone forgets about, it's too important.
Okay, this is an hour-long video, so we'll only watch some of it, but time for just so everybody knows, the Earth is not flat.
The following is a story from one of our unfortunate writers. During the holidays, I traveled back home to see my mom for what I thought was going to be a fun break, but things turned a bit sour one evening when she broke some important news to me. The Earth is flat, she announced, speaking in a serious tone, usually reserved for matters of life and death. What on earth are you talking about? I said to her. And again, she told me the planet was actually flat, and all these years we've been lied to. The fact is indisputable, she said, immutable, incontestable, and she knew that because she'd been doing a lot of reading on the internet. Okay, I told her, state your case. This is how our conversation went. Okay, she said, firstly, you don't know that I'm wrong because you've never observed the Earth as a whole. From where you stand anywhere on Earth, the world will seem flat to you. That's a fact. I peered out the window. She was right about that. Things did look pretty flat out there. Was the entire world just one big whopper? So that's it, I said. Just because I can't observe the entire thing, it must be flat?
Oh, no, I didn't notice.
She replied. That's just
I'm too freaked out by the blood cult.
This
Welcome,
is deadly
GF.
serious.
Hello.
At that point,
Love you.
an image flashed
Love
through
you.
my mind of my mother surrounded by men in white coats coaxing her to take her daily medication. Okay, I said. I haven't personally been...
Oh, I still have chroma key on. That's the problem. Let's see, turn that off. There we go.
up so high that I saw the spherical Earth, but other people have, and they have seen the Earth. You can actually see it rotating on its axis. We've measured the diameter of the thing, and it's approximately 7,900 miles, or to most people living on this non-flat Earth, 12,700 kilometers. There are images of this big ball all over the place. All lies, she said. Those books have been lying to you. The videos and the photos have been manipulated. She said the Earth is flat, like in ancient myths where a turtle carries it on its back. And what we observe in the sky is not what we think. What encompasses the Earth is actually a firmament dome, she said. NASA has lied to us and is in on the conspiracy. But that doesn't mean all scientists know the truth. Only that they have too bought into this spherical nonsense.
I have never put on a tinfoil hat in the history of this stream.
Billions of dollars were spent on space exploration. This money is still being wildly spent, and you, my son, are paying taxes and funding this rubbish. People have been getting incredibly rich because you take movies like Apollo 13 seriously. You're telling me Tom Hanks is in on the conspiracy? No, she replied, and don't get funny, you know what I mean. Okay, I said. I have one word to say to you. Seasons. Expand, she said, trying to sound scholarly. We have different seasons all over the world, ergo the sun's rays are hitting different places and they're making places hotter or colder. Those rays hit different parts of the earth, and so when it's winter in one place, it's summer in another place. If the earth were flat, all the earth would have is the same season all at the same time. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to know this. She told me that the sun just moves around the flat earth, so it hits certain places at certain times. She then went to get a plate out of the kitchen and began moving an orange around it. She said the sun and the moon were the same size, and she said the sun, that orange she was holding, rotates around the North Pole, which is actually in the middle of the flat earth. But Mom, I said, the sun is much bigger than the moon and that is observable. That orange plate thing doesn't really mean anything. I also explained to her that if this theory were true, then New York and Los Angeles would see the sun set and rise at the same time, which is not true. There is a time difference, so when it's evening in New York, it's afternoon in LA. How can that be? She told me I'm an ignorant fool, but didn't answer my query. This was quite strong language for my mom. It seemed to me that all those hours she had spent arguing online had made her quite intolerant to opposing ideas. Dare I say it, I was offended by her breach of familiar decorum. Okay, I said, once I unruffled my feathers. What's at the edge of this flat world, and why don't things just fall off? She told me that surrounding the Earth is a giant wall of ice, and that is Antarctica. Like Game of Thrones, I said, laughing. Should we fear the White Walkers? If you're not going to take this seriously, I won't explain further, she said sternly. Okay, go on. She said the sun was in fact not millions of miles away. She said it's actually only about 32 miles in diameter, and it hovers around the flat Earth at around 3,000 miles away. It acts like a moving spotlight, she said. So when it's above you, it's light, and when it goes away, it's dark. But it also moves closer to the North Pole in the middle of the Earth at a gradual rate, and then it moves outward toward the edge of the world. And that's why we have seasons. It's that simple. The thing is, Mom, if you use this model, the sun would never set. You can actually watch scientists making a model of your version of the events. It doesn't work according to how things are down here. Moreover, I told her, during the equinox, the sun rises due east and sets due west everywhere on the planet except at the poles. How could this be possible with your orange and plate theory? Sundials wouldn't even work, which would have been bad for people before we started using timepieces. Okay, please continue. You were also saying something about a massive ice wall? Allow me to retort, she said. She's a big Quentin Tarantino fan. What lies beyond the wall is the greatest mystery to us all. We simply can't get over it, and it probably protects us from something insidious.
Got 2
this
minutes
wall
to
holds
decide
in the
what
oceans,
style
and
my
it keeps us
hat
from
will be.
knowing what's beyond. In fact, this year we plan to sail to the wall in what will be one of the boldest missions humankind has ever undertaken. Okay, so who is going to be on that great voyage, I asked her. She told me it's headed by Flat Earth International, a group she is now a card-carrying member of. Mom, I intoned, I'm very surprised that there's this giant wall of ice around the world, and so far no one, and I mean no one, has ever photographed it. She replied that we have seen great walls of ice and that the rest of the border is made up of mountain ranges. That's why we can't just fall off the edge of the world. But why haven't the planes seen this edge, I asked her. She then went on about something called the Pac-Man effect, and like in the game, when a plane reaches the edge, it just teleports to the other side. She admitted that this was only a current theory and not the truth like everything else she'd said. This was now new territory, and those men in white coats were suddenly becoming quite real to me. And what about gravity? I asked her. To which point she said the whole thing is a hoax. Things just fall. She dropped that orange to prove her point, and amid my utter astonishment at her simplicity and undermining years of science, I wondered why on earth she ever sent me to school. She said under this flat earth there are magnets and they pull the oceans and change sea level. Maybe we should talk about the stars, I said. I told her that if we were on a flat earth, we'd all see the same constellations in the night sky. In real life, if you were at a certain latitude, you might see the Big Dipper, but if you were at another latitude, it wouldn't be visible. How's that possible? Going back to ancient times, astronomers saw the changes in the constellations and they knew the Earth couldn't be flat. How did people on different sides of the world see different night skies? She told me when we travel, we simply have a different perspective, so that when we travel away from things, they can become smaller and then they just disappear. But they are still there. That's why we can see certain stars in certain places. She said there's a vanishing point for stars just like anything else we observe at a distance. Mom, I said, I admit that I don't quite understand that in this context, but I'll just say that astronomers will tell you that certain constellations appear in the night sky at certain locations. Your vanishing point theory doesn't exactly convince me. And let's talk about the horizon when we see things like ships float out to sea.
And
they get farther away and appear to sink.
Scorpion!
We see less of the ship. Let's say the water was very calm. If the Earth was flat, we'd see the ship go out for a long way, and then it would disappear over the horizon. Then let's say we used an instrument to magnify that object, and we might see it, but see it seeming to sink. At some point, it'll disappear, never mind what instrument we're using because of the curvature of the Earth. If this place were flat, with a good enough telescope, we should be able to see everything in front of us. But we cannot. Explain that, dearest mother. Look, son, it's all about perspective and light refraction. The object is not going over the horizon, you just think it is. Weird, I said, since it's been scientifically proven. She had one word for that. Liars! Okay, so why, if other objects in space are obviously not flat, how come we live on a flat object?
I should have
Hope you
done
a reasonable
Hope
answer
Hat.
to that one.
That
There
one-
is no reason, my
this'll be
child.
a
Just look around you. That TV is rectangular, but the
ongoing
clock
bit,
is
like,
round.
I'm not-
The Earth is just different, just as all things have
Whenever
certain
there's, like,
shapes.
a hype
Well,
train
Mom,
or
I
a
admire your
raid, I
deductive
have
reasoning,
to,
and I hope one day I'll see my first square bird swim through a desert of marshmallow sand. Because hey, there are no rules in this universe. Sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, she replied angrily, but the highest form of intelligence of wit, quoting Oscar Wilde. I then told her something else. I brought up a flight from Sydney to Santiago, Chile. This 7,000-mile flight takes roughly 12 hours. If the Earth were flat, it would take much, much longer. You can actually go online and track this flight. Is everyone lying about the flight time? On a flat Earth map, you can measure the distance and calculate how long it would take. And it's been done, and it's far longer than if the world were a sphere. She just shook her head at that. Okay, she then said, so if the plane is flying around the Earth's curvature, then surely it wouldn't be horizontal all the time. So how come you take a spirit
check it in
level
the
on a
mirror
plane
because-
and it shows it is horizontal most of the time? If you attach the world's smallest spirit level to the back of a housefly and told it to fly around a beach ball, that level would not read flat. Mom, that incredibly simplistic example has convinced me that we undoubtedly cannot share the same DNA. Let me just say, the Earth is not a beach ball and a plane is not a fly. I hope that's clear to you. She looked down at me like I was the idiot. I told her that planes lift into the air with their wings and this enables them to fly, which I thought was pretty obvious. Once up in the sky, the pilot doesn't have to make many adjustments to stay at a certain altitude. He might adjust the plane when he wants to reduce altitude, but this is very incremental. It's the same thing when you're traveling down what looks like a long, straightish road. You might be moving to the left, but it's so slight, only a minor turning of the wheel over some period of time has to be done. Imagine a housefly flying over New York. Does it have to go down on a downward trajectory to get where it wants to go? Exactly, she screamed. That just proves my point. I had to sit down for a second and hold my head in my hands. It wasn't funny anymore. I was no longer having a good time. She was totally impervious to the most basic reasoning. Okay, let's get back to the absurd stuff, Mom, because that's at least amusing. And I'm talking about the great ice wall that no man has ever breached. You have to wonder why the plane can't get over this wall, because there are plenty of aerial photographs of Antarctica taken from planes. Well, she said, maybe you just don't want to show us what's out there, so no plane is allowed to go that far. If it did, it would pack man back like I already told you. But we will get to the edge of the world, and that's why we're going to sail there on the Great Flat Earth Expedition. Okay, and you know the ship that they'll be sailing on will use navigational instruments
He
that
likes
were designed on the
the
scientific
noise, I
basis
think.
of the curvature of the Earth? Like if the Earth were flat, you could just
Oh,
use
not
3
my pillow,
satellites to
man.
be on your way. But because it's spherical, you need satellites on the
So-
other side of the Earth. You do
Dun, dun,
understand that,
dun.
don't you? She scowled at me. But then that turned into
Dun,
a
dun.
smug
I
smile.
should,
Oh, you'll see. We'll get there, and all you
Can I wear
deniers
my
will be in
headphones
awe
with it
at
on?
what we've achieved.
Yes, I can.
Wait a minute, I said, and I went into the kitchen. I came back and passed her a plastic cake knife that we never use. You might need this, I said. It's
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna turn my camera so it doesn't delete my background. Hide it. Let's see. Oh god. Yeah, it's hard to wear headphones with this on. Okay.
dragon glass. That's just a made-up story, she said. I know, I told her. Let that sink in. We think after that, you need some more conspiracies to sink your teeth into. So watch the video, Is There Evidence That Aliens Did Come to Roswell? Or What You Didn't Know About the Bermuda Triangle? And make sure you leave a comment about your experience with flat earthers.
Hello.
Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
I'm the scorpion god. Hail me. Okay, here we go. Oh, from Arcturus to Earth. Okay, back to J. Let's skip ahead. Okay, what is this?
Inert. It's just a note. It's just a contract. It's just a writing. So what's the power in a contract? The power in a contract is that someone else can hold you accountable to what you have promised.
New fetish?
That's the power of a contract. And if you notice, some of the main proponents of blood.
What I should do is have I'll make a Viking style one with like a flap that goes over my face, where it's got like a nose and like cutouts for the eyes and stuff.
Over intent have written down this contract promising all these wonderful things, and not a lot of people are holding them accountable. And I'm telling you what, they didn't make the contract with you, contract with me. They made the contract with those energies, those vibrations that exist at that same level. What level? The lower frequency level. That's who the contract is made with. And it is a contract. Quasi-Luminous himself says that you are calling on spiritual forces, that you're calling on these gods and goddesses. Believe it. That's what he means, okay? He wants everyone to write a contract with these energetic forces. And remember, like attracts like. You cause pain to produce blood. That's a lower level energy. So what is that going to attract? Lower level energies. Call them gods, call them angels, call them demons, call them whatever you want. That's exactly what it's going to attract. It's not going to attract higher level energetic forces. Anyways, oh, how about this? How about this, right? Here's what everyone is writing out. I intend to bring forth heaven on earth, right? It sounds so wonderful. It sounds so great. But that's it.
Night, Scoop Steve.
How many channels out there are begging people to change who they are, to change their energy, to live good people in their local world, and to help the old lady across the street, or to donate to somebody in need, or to, to really reach out and help? I don't see a whole lot of channels out there promoting this. I see a whole lot of channels out there with the answers. I have the answers. We need to go here. We need to physically do this and cut yourself open, and then here's a shortcut. That's what I see. I see shortcuts all over the place. People get to skip being a good person. People get to skip making an actual vibratory change in their life to a faster, higher level of vibration. Really want to do it. And I think that's really what it boils down to. People want a shortcut. People want a certificate, a diploma, a contract saying, look, I'm approved. Look, I did it. Other people say I'm okay. That's not how it works. How it works on the lower levels. But you prove it yourself. You don't need a diploma. You don't need a certificate. You don't need a contract. You don't need a piece of paper. Who was it in The Wizard of Oz that got the piece of paper, right? It was the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow had no brains, and so somebody approved him and said, I approve that you now have brains. He just got the approval from other people. So, yeah, how many channels are out there talking about heaven on earth, but they're actually saying, hey, check this out. Here's how you can actually change your vibration. Why don't you be a good person, right? I mean, that's really the main thing in like the Bible, or not the Bible, but the New Testament and a lot of other religious writings. They focus on just change who you are. It's really simple. Become a good person. Become less selfish and more selfless. Get rid of the self and go out there and provide for those in need. Like give away instead of taking. Anyways, what else was I going to say? Oh, I want to say hello to Helenim Tellen. So, next up on the list is, emails. Okay, so some of you may have seen like a few videos. If you type in Blood Over Intent and you hit a search, there's a lot of people doing it. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. But I'm going to get to my theory on why I think there's so many people doing it, okay? But I have personally had many emails, many personal messages written to me, many people who are communicating with me saying, thank you, bro. talking out about this. Thank you for telling me about another way, about an easier way, about an alternative way. Because I was this close to doing it, but then I started thinking about it. I started asking questions about it. I started thinking critically and using my reasoning.
Yes, that's
to
two
really
things
just
that Jay
meditate
is
on it. And then I
great at.
decided, you know what? I don't need to do that. I've also had other people reach out to me saying, dude, help me, please. I did blood over intent, and now I'm possessed. Now I literally have
Gotta call
demons
Bob
possessing me
Larson.
in my life. Or, now I'm having bad dreams, and now all this horrible stuff's happening to me. I still have those emails and those personal messages where blood over intent has gone way bad. Okay? I'm not saying that is going to happen to you if you do it or if you have done it, but I'm saying that's what's coming back to me. Those are the results that I'm hearing about. Jazz Sinclair. And Jay Analyze, what's up, Jay? And Judith Baz. Anyways, so this is the communication that I'm getting back from real, actual people out there.
Oh no, I just turned off the background.
So
remover.
let me talk about pieces of the truth. There are many channels out there.
It keeps removing
on
my
YouTube
hat,
in
so I just
particular.
turned it off.
And there's many
So
people
confusing
that
trying to,
they
adjust this
are
with
able to
using
pick
my
out little
backwards
grains of
camera
truth,
here.
little breadcrumbs and little nuggets. But the problem comes when people
There
start
we
getting egotistical and putting their own things into it. And then you have this ritual, which, by the way, it is a ritual. Okay, a ritual doesn't have to be something you do over and over and over again. A ritual is like getting married. Okay, you can do it once. A ritual is fire. A ritual, blood over intent is a rite of passage. It's a rite. It's a ritual. A ritual. That's where that word comes from.
Right, you all.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, pieces of the truth. So yes, Quasi-Luminous does have some pieces of truth. There's some interesting stuff in there, which he himself has picked up from other people here and there. Okay? And I'm going to get a little bit more into him in a minute. But just because someone has a piece of the truth does not mean that they are the authority on the subject. All right? I'm not the authority on the subject. Many people come to my channel and they start asking me questions like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And usually my response is, well, what do you think of that? You tell me what you think and then come back to me, right? Think about it. Anyways, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the sun, okay? Quasi-Luminous stares at the sun and he talks to his God. The sun is his God. He says it straight up and down, very clear as day. Hey, guess what? I worship the sun. That is my God. He is a sun worshiper.
Well, actually,
okay?
if Jay's talking about don't do blood magic, which I think it's kind of dumb to poke the shit out of your finger. But let's see.
All of these ancient religions all go back, for the most part, to worshiping that skylight. That, I think it's a mechanical thing in the sky. But anyways, that is not God.
Okay? Anyway, I think it's mechanical. Okay, let's skip ahead more.
We're not creatures of water. Are we? I mean, the only thing that's in the water is like fish and sharks and, some other stuff, right? They live in the water. We're creatures of land. This is our realm. We should have more land than we have water, but we don't, which tells me this place was flooded out. There was a cataclysm. Old tore down these giant trees, okay? And they literally carved out our world. You can look on Google Earth. You zoom into the oceans, and you can see the track marks left by giant machines as they scraped out our world. And anyways, what else is in the chat? Oh my God, Anthony. Okay, Anthony is dying to know how many people were in the car when JFK was murdered. I don't know. I really don't.
Oh, my bit
6.
rate's turning to shit.
That's my guess.
6.
God, dude, you bust me up. Kazmij is in the chat. What's up, Kazmij? Who else? Pick my brain. I'm open. I'm ready. I'm gonna stay in the chat for a little while longer. It's time to chat. What's on you guys' mind? What would you like to know my thoughts on? I am by no means the expert on anything. I am by no means anybody's leader, okay? Or a guru or anything like that. I'm just a regular person just like
my other window is fucking up this bit rate. So let me pause that and I will add the emote wall really quick. Actually,
like you, I'm on a path and as brightly as I can. And I'm looking for other people who are shining bright. You know why? Because it makes me smile. It makes me feel happy when I see other lights out there shining brightly. Who that guy says, J Dreamers, do you know about the lymph system? I don't. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. But I'm all ears. And it's definitely Berenstain, okay? Not Berenstain. That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
Oh god, he's so sure of that. Like, no, it was just all our parents didn't care enough about the proper pronunciation that they all just went to the most familiar. They went like, "Oh, Berenstain? That sounds weird." They were like, "Oh, it's Berenstain," because I've never heard somebody named Berenstain before. That's it. That's all it is.
Favorite color? Okay. Green is my favorite color. I like green because it's kind of a nature color. Chloe J lives in Holland. Hello, Chloe J. It's very nice to meet you. It's awesome to speak to someone who lives in Holland. I've always wanted to go there. Okay, so Resonance wants to know, what are my personal Mandela effects that just blow my mind, okay? There's really only one. That one is the Berenstain Bears. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. I am a word addict. I love words and spelling, and I have since I was a kid. I learned I before E except after C, and I remember that word right because it was so difficult. I would have had no difficulty in pronouncing the word stain, S-T-A-I-N. I understand that word. I know exactly how it's pronounced. I also knew how it was pronounced when I was a kid. That's not how it was pronounced when I was a kid. So that's my one. Rob Dizzle's in Florida. So, hey, what's up to Florida? Missouri. Interesting. How very interesting. Chick-fil-A, JCPenney, interesting. Okay, so aside from the Mandela effect, does anyone have any thoughts on ancient realms? I'm pretty much done talking about blood over intent for the night, but
okay. Then we will move
sorry,
on
Adam,
to,
I just saw your thing.
Let's look at Quasi-Luminous, the leader of the cult. Let's go to his very first video. Quasi-Luminous, the Prince of Darkness, speaks blood over intent. Oh, is he? Okay, that's one of his blood videos. It is what it is. Say you don't see it.
It doesn't matter what you believe. It was, what did you intend to do about it? I put up gallons of motherfucking blood as the Antichrist, Satan, the devil, the angel of death.
Oh, he was talking about the Mandela effect. It's just like pilled people thinking that multiple people misremembering the same thing means that we entered another universe where things are different.
Is literally attached to me. I can see shit.
Oh yeah, he got banned. So like his oldest video is from like a month ago, but he only has 210 subscribers now. But it's all just because he got banned. Somebody reported him and they took his account down. Bastards.
Shit nobody sees. You will join me publicly in blood.
He started a new one and then re-uploaded.
Bound in blood, you know? This is a simple concept. It's blood up or shut up. It's blood in, blood out, motherfucker. It's atonement for your filthy soul. By the book, all your leaders swear in on this motherfucking Bible. It'll take people years to figure out how I got this mythical spear of destiny. I put up blood for the angel of death, for 144,000 living beings to come back to life and fill this book of life up. Get to the Holy Grail. Won't cost you anything. I didn't take nothing from you. You can't find a fucking PayPal account to donate money to. I don't ask anybody for anything. You cannot possibly buy your way into this Garden of Eden, heaven on earth, fountain of youth. No fucking way. People deleted their videos. Their blood-thick videos. You freed me from my bondage. I don't have to pay for any of you. You need the 144,000, you little cockroach. You're not worth saving. You should be squashed out like a little cockroach. You couldn't unite peacefully for your survival. So I'm going to take over this universe by myself. Nobody enters this place before me. Motherfucker, I'm going to live. I'm a fucking bloodthirsty vampire. I drink pussy blood, you stupid fuck. Nobody escapes me. All your leaders swear in the Bible, you do. Your parents do. Natural order. I don't care if you're a fucking atheist. This is my universe. Nobody stops me. I didn't take nothing from you. I don't owe you nothing. Motherfucker, you're going to expire by the book. I'm going to take over this world. I hope you all abandon this blood over intent and give me a reason to fuck everybody.
So they can preach in the name of Jesus Christ the most eloquent sermons. And you wouldn't know
Learn about
that they're preaching about Lucifer.
Oh, hello, I'm Death. I always show up when it's time, and it's almost time for you.
Oh, you don't know Godman? You know, we should look at Godman real quick. Is there a similar cult leader? Let's see. Godman in Bloodline, you penises are murdering your own selves.
Penises of the world. I want.
Oh yeah, she refers to men and women by genitalia. You're like normally she says you're a rod or a womb, but now she's calling people penises.
I want you to ponder on this. Your children carry your bloodline. Us wombs that are organic, sickle blood, the blue bloods, we give the immortality. It is not our bloodline that ends with this kill. It's yours. So all your little bastard children that you abandoned, that you walked off a cliff, that you just let get murdered, guess what? You murdered you. Your bloodline. For you are Lucifer. Dick's sperm is light. You are the bringers of my light. So guess what? With every child that falls by your hands, you just took yourself out the book of life. Use common sense here, people.
Oh my god, the book of life. The book of life is a blood over intent thing. Oh my god. So I wasn't wrong that she's very similar to that guy. She's gonna mention like the 144,000, isn't she?
Use common sense. Every rod child is a bringer of light. You take the rod child out, you kill the rod that brought it in. Over and out.
70 hologram blue beam. Let's see.
Greetings. Now we're going to go over this. Now there's a video here. I want all of y'all to check it out. Y'all must know the 7D hologram that's coming. This is how they're going to stage this event in the sky. It won't be aliens. They're coming from underground technology. Clones. Clones. Okay? Many of your presidents have been replaced already. Basketball players, actors, rappers, singers. They're among us. Clones. Devoid of my light. Now I'm going to show you all this video.
Oh yeah, like I know how the 144,000
Stop drinking a fucking Kool-Aid.
originally
Snap
like
out of
a
it.
biblical thing, but I'm just thinking God-man in flesh is more likely to get influence from blood over intent than most people I see on YouTube.
I'm going to show you a little bit of it. Of this video.
Oh, I think I actually have this video lined up.
Look at these owls. Notice their synchronicity. That's because they are not real. In fact, nothing in this video is real. It's Blue Beam Project test to facilitate future fake alien extraterrestrial UFO invasion. Unsuspected crowd is stunned when creatures started to appear out of the water. Not only they can see and hear them, now they can feel and interact with them.
I'm just gonna
That's
do
right.
emote spam to
Blue
show off
Beam
the
technology
emotes
allows
I've made.
not only to see and hear the holograms, but actually feel them. It is
I'll
possible
use the
by
ones that nobody
manipulating the
uses.
density of air and water molecules. New alien technology allows scientists to slightly increase the distance in hydrogen atom
The only thing here
Biden.
real is you.
The change is less than 1,000%, yet it is feel like you are touching the real thing. Look how happy and amazed adults and children. They actually interacting with non-existing sea lions, bears and even whales. They can see them, hear them, smell them and feel and touch them. Of course, for now it is controlled environment to test human responses. They need to see how adults, teenagers and children reacting to prevent any bugs and giveaways in the large-scale model. This is truly amazing. Stick around and you shall see how
They're already doing it. People seeing creatures in their backyard. When they ride their bike, strange things jumping out. These things aren't real.
not existent. They are no less real than you and I.
Those are demons.
To stand still with a push of a button.
Please, people, snap out of your delusions. They are not gods. $7D hologram. This is how the
Yeah, like I don't know if she should be in Doom or in like be the next Far Cry villain, because she could pull off Far Cry villains so easily.
fake Jesus is gonna come to you. True Christ is the body that you live within. My son. That is Christ. The body that y'all are abusing. That is Christ. My son.
Closer look. Notice how the sea lions repeating the same actions they were programmed to. And then they come to stand still. If no
What language do you code sea lions in? Light
additional
language?
program is uploaded. It's
Like
like witnessing time
slash
itself to
bracket
stop. For now, they experimenting with power
Humanity
animals because in case of any bugs or
Slash.
glitches. If someone say, I saw a strange cat or monkey in woods that stopped moving or suddenly disappeared, would not spark much interest.
They're doing it with people too. People walking and disappearing that they thinking people is walking from another dimension. No, it's a hologram. It's holograms, people. Holograms.
Oh, got my ears.
People. Holograms.
Giveaway was that it appeared in front of
the plane stuck in the sky and not moving. A fucking hologram.
Made so much progress for the last 2 years.
Holograms.
It's impossible to tell what is real and what is not. But
fake trees. Holograms.
Scientists cannot remove yet. Stick around and you shall learn how.
Fake planets in your sky. Holograms. All holograms.
Now they can.
They're creating. They're following the script. And y'all drinking a fucking Kool-Aid.
Drinking
the
a
book of
fucking
Revelations was written
by an unknown author. Hologram. It's all holograms they're using. And they gave you that book so that you could be following it for some illusionary God to come. It's not real. It's fraudulent. Christ is the body that you live within.
I literally have to drill that hole, though the clouds to bring realistic large-scale hologram images. Notice the
Do not forsake my son. Do not forsake yourself.
Unit. Then, notice the abrupt change in the sky
Gotta
in
make
the
sure this thing's on right.
blue beam satellite used to project the fake creature. U.S. Marines did not know.
Fake angels in the sky. Holograms.
They saw the
angels don't have wings. We are spears.
Repeated search.
We are spears of light.
Intelligence did not produce any.
You're all holograms.
So
Bigfoot, all these sightings, holograms.
Fired at the large
holograms.
Top secret footage you are seeing now was shot by tiny hidden CIA camera brought and removed from the field by a robotic dragonfly like the one you saw appearing in front of the moon before. The second giveaway is the production of excessive amount of atmospheric electricity, shrinking the distance between hydrogen atoms or orbiting electrons even by less than 1/1000 to make holograms.
Look how they make that ghostly figure. Hologram.
Makes air to conduct more electricity, creating lighting and thunderbolts in the places they usually won't be.
They are the great illusionists.
We all feel.
Don't let them play you.
Now, thanks to Cryan channel, you know what it is, and now you also know how to tell if you interact with manufactured reality by
Cryan?
Project.
Oh god, it's Cryan.
The biggest event of your lifetime.
Cryan is basically another grifter, like trying to pull the Ramtha shit. It's the same exact grift, but except this time it's called Cryan, and they say they're almost the exact same things. It's like Ramtha, but they were using the internet right off the bat. Modernized Ramtha.
Life demands motion.
Can I get
Each day is
ice
a
cream?
balance of meeting that momentum while appreciating the present moment. The car I'm driving shouldn't just take me where I'm going. It should remind me where I am. The Mercedes-Benz C-Class doesn't just drive me forward, it propels me. On the outside, advanced technology is wrapped in a sporty package, highlighted by sensual lines. Check out the way the lower body's been restyled with more athletic features, especially with the AMG line.
That's a commercial.
Hybrid. Alien sex.
Holograms. Those are holograms. We are inside of the brain of my child. His brain, okay? When you see those cities in the sky, holograms.
It's a hand.
Fake planets, holograms. Everything you need is the sun. Follow the heat, the radiation for true sun. The moon is a reflection of the body, his brain. The moon at night, which is really day. In the daytime is really nighttime. True moon is set, what you call sunlight. Day is night, night is day.
Okay.
Now this is the name of this page.
Y'all go and watch the video. Wake the fuck up. That's my advice to you. Wake the fuck up. Because when knowing thyself, no one can pull no shit like this off on you. I will fight for my son. I will never stop fighting for him. You will not get rid of me by destroying my flesh. You freed me.
She turned it up instead of turning it off.
Me. You cut between a rock and a hard place, fucking.
You never know. She could be channeling God or Baphomet. She says she has 2 ions, and apparently ions are like gods or deities or something. So she has both Baphomet and God within her. This is probably Baphomet speaking.
Around with me. You got the right one this round. There will be no lynching me on a fucking cross. There will be no kidnapping me, raping me to eat my flesh. I come back, and I'm gonna take over that quantum Skynet, and I'm gonna be in all your fucking homes. You will never get rid of me. Never. Your God does not own my son. My son is no one's footstool. I will free my son and devour your God. This I promise. For I bring judgment. I'm bringing judgment on all your gods.
Judgment. Anybody remember when she was singing the Judgment song? Let's see. Let's see if the Judgment song is still up here. Judgment. Oh, no judgment. She deleted a lot of her content when she said she was moving to Rumble. For like the second time, she's like, "I'm going to Rumble. You better watch all this content because I'm not re-educating you." And she goes to Rumble for like 2 days, and then just quits and goes back to YouTube. It is what it is. Say you don't see it. Let's go. Let's watch another Quasi-Luminous. It's called The Book of Life for a reason.
And speak my intentions out. Everything begins with the word. You know, in the beginning was the word. So, in the beginning, before you step out of your house, you might want to project this vibration out onto the world. You know, that you're a selfless being. The power's in the blood. The people only knew how powerful this blood shit was. 34,000 for a reason. The creator's not heartless. Imagine if I had to wake up 1 million people or something like that. No, it's a book of life. It's specifically that number for a reason.
That's weird. Okay, let's watch like 2 more. Antichristos only.
Jesus can't save you. Jesus turns out to be the sun above your fucking head. And it's conscious. And I stare at it every day, telling it, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth and release us all from bondage, motherfucker. Hook me up with some knowledge. And, this is what it is. That's what's empowering me to stand here and see all the shit. 2 Corinthians 4:4. Fuck you. The universe is mine. It tells you right there. All your
144. Fuck
it's on all your fucking mind. I mean, forget it. There's no intelligent life in the universe at all. If there was, they'd be side by side like superheroes with me. 144,000 thick, filled up in a book of life, and it doesn't cost money, worship, or advice. I don't want nothing.
Oh, it's kind of just a general sort of like Judeo-Christian thing, basically. It's like it's bled over the New Age. Like some people think that only 144,000 people will ascend. This guy thinks only 144,000 people will be allowed into heaven on earth. And I think a lot of religions, like I know, like Jehovah's Witnesses, I think only think 144,000 people are allowed to be in heaven, and it's like predetermined or something.
From you, you're in the book of death for the right reason. Never spoke a single truth. You taught your children only lies. Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, that they evolved from monkeys, that they're an accident. For heaven's sakes, you have no soul.
Here, a little pussy.
You're a little pussy.
I am Vanilla in the flesh.
I am Vanilla in the flesh.
Markran, Engefel.
Markran, Engefel.
Method, Arthim.
Method, Arthim. So where are we going? To go see a dead carcass. Raccoon.
Secret societies, mystery religions.
We're good.
That stinks. I'll remind you often, Jesus can't save you. Jesus couldn't save himself. How the fuck is he gonna save you? You know, he's talking about a resurrection, and that is just fucking ridiculous, because if there was a resurrection 3 days later, then he would have scooted all of us to the Holy Grail, the Fountain of Youth, the Garden of Eden. But that didn't happen. It's that he's dead for a reason. The angel of death will get you in heaven or hell. You don't have to like it, but I'm standing here as the devil on my own blood. I know where the exit is. Satan's got you the way out. You don't have to like it, but you're gonna join me in blood publicly on the YouTube to bring forth heaven on earth and release the soul from bondage. Or you're gonna expire just like great-grandma, great-grandfather, and everybody else. It's natural order. I am
the anti-cosmic magic by the devil's blood?
The spear of destiny.
Okay.
I know where the fountain of youth is. Nobody enters before me. It's called the House of Living Waters. And, you know, Jesus...
Okay, what was that? What was the name? The anti-cosmic magic.
Yeah, he can't save you. I'm sorry.
Oh, god damn it.
He'd be here right now doing this shit I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a lowly plumber. Staying out of trouble. I ride a freaking bicycle to work. I'm a good father and husband. Nobody fucks with me remotely. I have all the keys, motherfucker. And all you have to do is lay low and stay out of trouble. I don't take money, worship,
song.
advice, sex. You can't join me. You have to stand blood thick by the book. 144K on the ether net. You have your 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water.
I'm guessing like the Ethernet is some sort of like spiritual connection you have with Satan by sacrificing your blood or something.
And ether. When you stand next to me, that's based on alchemy. And your blood is the philosopher's stone. You'll go from platinum to lead. You'll become solid and real like me. Like lead.
Did he draw that himself?
To the Holy Grail. It's associated with Saturn. Satan. One side of a light holds a black hole. Jesus is the sun above your head. Has to place his men's chew all blood into the
Oh, he's just
Holy
using
Grail.
Google Images.
Nobody can see it. It's rubbed in your face on everything. You're sucking on your candy cane, taking your communion. You're gonna sit there and tell me you ain't a blood mage already? You got piercings and rings all around you? You put on black satanic robes? When you graduate from school, you blow out your candle, blow on the dice, for heaven's sakes, you bow your head in prayer. You've never spoke a single truth to anybody because you have no truth.
Satan makes local kid kill himself. Jesus brought him back to life. This is from The Simpsons.
It's that you think you're on a ball floating through space as a monkey. You can't even comprehend.
Oh wait, no, it's not, I don't think it's from The Simpsons. It's somebody just used a picture of The Simpsons. No.
Basic shit. One electron.
Some
bound
weird
by a
Christian
positron
newspaper.
On an infinite loop. Inside of a Xbox. It's like a light bulb in an Xbox underneath it's like a fish tank of embryonic or amniotic fluid.
What?
Box. It's like a light bulb in an Xbox underneath it's like a fish tank of embryonic or amniotic fluid.
Quote him on this.
Like plasma. Like what they put in you if you need blood. This donation of blood is the most powerful shit. It's that you need to make an atonement for your filthy soul. Animal sacrifices are insufficient. You can get away easily with putting up body after body worth of blood like I did, and they'll even mail you fucking certificates. 1 gallon certificates.
Cool. Let's do a couple more reverses.
Here a little pussy.
You're a little pussy.
I am benevolent in the flesh.
I am benevolent in the flesh.
He gets so many young people with this. He's like a god in social media or something. He was probably some like advertising ghoul before he went crazy or something.
Wants to two more reversals.
That's weird. Is that police tape?
I remember when you were a little baby swinging on these swings.
Is that his son? Does he have kids? Let's see. It was part of another video where I originally saw it. Let's see. No. Nice. Nick crap. Like, just
Does the thought of you or a love?
let me show you. Is this the one with the blood over intent guy? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, here. So this is another weird. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong video again. I think it was number 4. Here we go. Was it just start the video with this one? Okay, why am I? Here we go. Okay, Raycon.
And you'll get 15% off.
Oh, Julian's live? You know what? It's 9:27. You know, I'll watch this part of the video and then I'll raid Julian. And we'll come back to this when he's done streaming. If it's not too late.
Off of your Raycon purchase. With their 45-day free return policy. This was the caption for Dylan Pontney's first video on Instagram, as he's shown taking a long drag of his cigarette. And looking back, it was this account that provides the context needed to understand Dylan, as well as his YouTube channels, as videos like this were the basis of his content, and those watching absolutely loved it. Commenters would say things like, "Looking good, man. You're so sexy, addicted lung. Your face is cute." And "Very hot smoker. Smoker fetish?" He would never respond to that final question. though the answer wasn't hard to find. Dylan would post these videos shirtless while acknowledging and thanking the fans who were leaving sexual comments, even mentioning a potential start of an OnlyFans account. He knew what he was doing, and his account was a fetish page through and through, but not in the way that you would typically expect. Dylan clearly loved
like watching these internet mystery videos have made me discover so many weird fetishes. Like I knew about it before, but the whole like leather daddy smoking fetish to the point where you like kill yourself is horrifying. And there's so many people that do it.
Smoking, but more specifically the dark side effects that came with it, as he would hashtag things like cancer and lung, as well as even stating outright that he thought cancer was good. And he was being serious too, as he'd even take pictures of the warning labels on cigarette packages, which featured photos of withering and dying individuals, as they were designed to scare people away. But rather than deterring him, Dylan would openly say how much he loved the sight of them, as it showed what could happen to him someday, an idea that Dylan absolutely loved. Dylan Pontney wanted to get cancer and die before his audience's eyes, much like Leather Smoked Me had done years before, along with many others across the web, with his Instagram providing all the context we need, context that would make his YouTube channels all the more concerning. Dylan
Also,
had 3 channels, one of which going
very
under the same
disturbing
name as his
content
Instagram,
warning.
along with another called Jericho Chris, the same account that I had found way back when researching in December. And both accounts consisted mainly of his smoking videos. And quickly, Dylan would start to amass a few hundred views per video, as viewers were watching eagerly to see the young man begin to wither. It's a concept that's dark enough, especially considering his age. But as mentioned, Dylan had 3 total channels, with his third proving to be the darkest. The channel would go by the name of Juniper Crossing, and again feature more smoking clips. Only, unlike his other pages, these clips didn't make up the majority of his content. In fact, the channel itself was dedicated to a whole other rabbit hole here on YouTube. And it's one that we've been down before.
See what I'm talking about? That is true power and true free will.
Oh, they censored
Basically,
in
we're
this
all
one.
trapped on an iron grid. Our cells are literally keeping us trapped on planet Earth. You need to get to the center of the flat Earth before you're dead, or you will expire of your own stupidity.
Blood Over Intent, Proof of Life, Quasi-Luminous. This was the title of Dylan's second upload to the Juniper Crossing channel that would go live back in December of 2021, clearly in reference to what has now become one of the largest and most intriguing rabbit holes on all of YouTube. We explored the mystery way back in the day, the cult of Saturn.
Don't forget
It's a group that believes an
reptilians, too.
apocalyptic event is imminent, and the only way to survive is to put your name in Satan's Book of Life, a book reserved for the first 144,000 people who partake in a ritual known as Blood Over Intent. For the ritual, you write your intentions down on a sheet of paper and then spill your blood over it, which supposedly manifests your intentions, as well as puts your name in the Book of Life, essentially securing your salvation. But in order for it to fully work, you must record the ritual and post it here on YouTube. It's one of the first big rabbit holes that we explored on the channel, and it was uncovered that the man behind the whole movement is named Mark Braun, or as he goes by on YouTube, Quasi-Luminous, which Dylan references in the title of his video. Mark believes that he is Satan himself, and the followers of this movement believe the same, despite the fact that in reality he's just a genuinely disturbed guy. Now, fellow YouTuber Blame It On Jorge has, in my opinion, the best breakdown of this mystery, so I recommend watching his video on it for further details. But all in all, it's an incredibly twisted community. Something that became even more apparent to me, as every now and then I still receive bizarre threats from certain members of the group, despite having posted that video over a year ago.
Nicholas Earwood.
That's the guy. That's the backwards talking guy.
You were in the pocket of August, we seen it. Nicholas Earwood. You were in the pocket of August, we seen it. Nicholas Earwood.
But out of all the videos that I've seen associated with this group, Dylan's truly stand out. Most people who take part in this...
Look, now that it's not really specific anymore, I should just call him Zeus now. The original backwards talking guy we watched is now Zeus. So, to avoid confusion, he is now Zeus.
...will simply prick their finger with a pushpin in order to spill their blood. But Dylan's approach is a little different and much...
Big content warning here. He's gonna do something with a push pin that involves slamming it into a hard surface. So if you can't take the sound of that, they censor it. But there is sound. I would mute the stream until it's over.
Much more violent, rather than gently...
I'll give you a couple more seconds if you have to mute. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Jabbing himself with a pushpin, Dylan instead slams it into his finger over and over again, in most cases pushing the pin clear through his thumb, in one side and out the other. And though I can't fully show you an example of this, you can understand the force he's using just by listening.
Go.
There's a real darkness to this Juniper Crossing channel, as it's essentially the combination of two YouTube mysteries we've covered in the past, both of which being incredibly concerning in their own right. I mean, this is a channel run by a kid who wants to get cancer and die, while at the same time immersing himself into one of YouTube's darkest cults. And what's also obvious when watching these videos is there's a real anger to Dylan, which is fully on display when he jams the pin through his finger, as well as on his Instagram page. We can see that his bedroom walls are filled with holes, likely as a result of Dylan punching them. He was clearly dealing with some very serious issues in regards to his mental health, and unfortunately, things would only escalate from this point on. From here, he'd begin to fall down into a conspiracy rabbit hole, posting about the Earth being flat, stating that humans are being farmed, and that our world is just one big prison. Theories that he would begin to push more and more on his channel as time went on, further showcasing what appeared to be the deterioration of Dylan's mind. And posts that would all lead us to his final upload, a video that will forever prove to be the darkest he'd ever make. On the morning of March 15th, 2021, Dylan would post a video titled "Smoking in a Car Full Vid." It would feature no further description. The clip shows as Dylan jokes around with his father on their way to Dylan's school as he enjoys his early morning cigarette, which in his words was the best way to start the day. He then asks his dad if they could visit his nana after school, and the two would start to plan out their day.
Are we going to Nana's place after? Are we supposed to? Maybe. You want to go there for a visit? Yeah.
Dylan then finishes his cigarette before shutting off the camera. He would never post again. Not just on his YouTube account, but on his Instagram as well. In fact, no social media belonging to Dylan would ever be updated from this moment on. The video would go live as soon as Dylan would get dropped off at school, and from there he would start his day as usual. That morning he would sit in his classroom at Christ the King High School, the same way he would do any other school day, only today was different. For reasons unknown, at roughly 9:30 a.m., Dylan would stand up from his chair before pulling a knife out of his backpack, right in the middle of class. He would then proceed to turn to the girl sitting next to him, and before anyone could realize what was happening, Dylan would stab 17-year-old Jennifer Winkler and quickly leave the classroom and the school itself. It happened too quickly to react, and in an instant, Jennifer would be fatally injured, later passing away in the hospital before her father could say goodbye. Dylan would attempt to run, but would only make it to a nearby neighborhood before being caught and arrested for murder. Just barely a few hours ago, Dylan was sitting with his dad planning out his day, and there was no sort of indication in this final video that just moments later he would take a life in cold blood. And even more shocking of all, according to the victim's father, there was seemingly no bad blood between the two. As a matter of fact, they were at one point neighbors, though they never really hung out or talked. The attack was completely unprovoked and seemingly without reason. According to Dylan's own dad, he was a troubled kid who struggled daily with mental health issues, but in his own words, he said he believed that Dylan was making strides and starting to get better, but his YouTube channel paints a different story. It showed a young man who had seemingly no will to live, a man that wanted to die, and a young man who was clearly dealing with intense and very concerning anger issues, all leading to him cutting short a life for seemingly no reason at all. And just based off of the way that Jennifer's dad describes her, well, it seems like our world lost an amazing person that day.
She was bright, smart, creative. She was just Jenny. I'm gonna miss her, and
A few days following the murder, I would receive an email from one of my viewers letting me know what had happened, which in part revealed the true scope of Dylan's channels, and just how quickly things had turned for the worst from that fateful day that I had viewed his video. But most disturbingly of all, at that point, there were still people leaving comments from the Blood Over Intent group, literally
I
saying
really
that
hope they don't find out
praised
about
Dylan,
me. That would be
despite
weird.
the fact that he was a known murderer at this point, something that if you were in his comment sections, you couldn't miss. The Juniper Crossing channel stands today as a dark look into the mind of a truly disturbed individual, someone who dedicated his life to a satanic cult, someone who wanted the world to see him slowly die on his channel, and someone who would mercilessly kill not even 2 hours after posting his final video. And unfortunately, the signs were there all along. But this isn't always the norm. In fact, typically just the opposite rings true, as people will hide behind their YouTube personalities, leaving behind no indication of the true evil that they possess. And in the case of Cadence Pinder, this rings especially true.
Oh, wait. Okay, so that's the end of that part. So, let's rate Julian. This has been a very strange and deeply disturbing stream, and we're going to lighten the mood by rating Julian. Depending on how late he goes, I will be back, but I gotta work tomorrow, so if it's more than like more than like 3 hours stream, I won't be back. I mean, honestly, I don't want to give anybody nightmares tonight, so who knows? Who knows? Anyway, Julian Raid, thank you, everybody. Let me take that. Love you.